NFC North's last team that we're going to talk about here. The dreaded Chicago Bears, right? Tell me about their draft, Wyatt.
Hot, stinky, smelly, trash. Trash. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. If we scroll back up here to the Minnesota Vikings, if you look at their second round pick 42, Andrew Booth Jr. out of Clemson, I just talked about him. He was my top pick for the Vikings. He was on the board. First off, you need a wide receiver. You need somebody for Justin Fields to throw the ball to. You just lost Allen Robinson. What is Darnell Mooney going to be your guy? I mean, Darnell Mooney's all right.
They picked the guy from the Chiefs.
Huh?
They picked the guy from the Chiefs. What's his name?
I think I got McCole Hardman, but McCole Hardman.
No. They got Byron Pringle.
Oh, was it Pringle?
Yeah.
I thought they got McCole Hardman too.
They got Byron Pringle.
Oh, but still, I mean, it's not a number one guy. You know,
what? Don't you dog my dude from Kansas State, baby? my cats, baby. Don't be dogging my boy. No, go ahead.
Just overall, I was real confused. I mean, it's like Kyler Gordon there at the 39th pick. Kyler Gordon, I thought should have been a third round pick, maybe a late second round pick. And then everybody's like, okay, they went cornerback at 39. That's because at 48 they're going to go wide receiver. Everything's fine. But then the Bears fans realize that they're the Chicago Bears and they screw everything up. And they went with safety Jaquan Brisker out of Penn State. And it's like the biggest move ever. Everybody's like, what's going on here? It was a Bears draft. That's what it was. Hey, we're going to have a great defense, but God, our offense is going to be trash. I mean, our defense is going to have 31 picks this year, but you know what? By God, we're going to average a touchdown a game. That's it. That is it. We're giving Justin Fields nobody to throw to. Nobody. He can have nobody to throw to. But speaking of nobody to throw to, with the third round pick, this is when they finally, I guess, wised up. I don't know what happened. I don't know if somebody hit Virginia McCaskey over the head and she woke up. But they picked the wide receiver at round 3, pick 71. Velus Jones out of Tennessee. This is kind of an underrated pick, I think. Although it's the Bears and they'll find a way to screw it up. I'm sure of that. He adds a lot of route running to the team, as well as he's a really good special teamer. Like his return skills are going to add huge to this team. And the Bears are already big on returning, returners that are good. I mean, you look at Devin Hester, they've always had good returners. So them picking him here, I think, was them going with a guy who can be on offense as catching the ball, but also catching kickoffs too and catching punts. So I think this adds a kind of multi-dimensional thing to the offense here. He's a guy you can use in the end around game. And you can use him, like I said, in the return game. He can catch passes really well. So that was my top pick for them. But then after that, it's just there's nothing really else there. They didn't have another pick until the 5th round again, which is where they had 2 picks. And they got Braxton Jones and Dominique Robinson. 2 guys that are all right, add some depth to the O-line, D-line, your guys in the trenches. At 6, they got another offensive lineman there in Zachary Thomas. At another 6th round pick, they got Tristan Ebner out of Baylor, the running back. Then they added 2 more offensive linemen, a safety, and then a punter to close it off. Overall, and I feel like people are going to think I'm biased for this, but it's really not biased. I think the Bears were the only team in the NFC North that did trash at the draft. I think the Packers did really good, even though it looked like they were going to screw it up. It really looked for a second. I was nervous for a second, like, oh man, we really jacked this up. Then the Lions, they got an A as well. Minnesota Vikings, like I said, I gave them the B+. I'll tell you what, man, I was going to give the Bears a C+, but I'm going to go ahead and delete that plus. I'm going to give them a C. Like I said, I wasn't a big fan.